When I think of characters who were leaders in fiction, I think of characters like Leonardo, Captain America, and of course, the big man himself, Optimus Prime. Growing up and constantly being bullied and being shoved off, I felt insignificant. Although I felt this way, I never changed my morals. No matter how the situation played out, I always stuck to who I really was, even if it was hard and even if I was getting bullied. Also, growing up, I would find myself lost in media as a way of escapism. And one movie that hit me like a truck was Transformers 2007. This is one of the first movies I remember watching and just feeling different. As kids my age gravitated towards Bumblebee, I did too. Bumblebee's freaking sick. I love you, Bumblebee. But as I got older and watched the other movies that followed, I would become captivated by Optimus Prime. When I was younger, I was very unsure of everything I did, and still to this day I question it. But he knew his mission. He knew what he had to do. While I didn't have confidence in myself, Optimus Prime was sure of every choice that he made being the right one. I didn't love him for the abilities that he had, or the fact that he was in charge, but because of the absolute in everything that he did. Also, Optimus Prime's ability to be a general when the situation called for it, but also be gentle and kind-hearted. I think that's what makes Optimus Prime special, is his heart and hope for others. And the future. The Autobots that follow Optimus are not always the best. They're not always the strongest, they're not always the smartest, and they don't always have the best abilities. But when they get around their leader, when they get around Optimus, they are able to see hope. That image of what they could be makes his team his family. The way he's able to lift others up and remind them of what they could be, remind them of what they're fighting for, and just kind of inspire them to be bigger than themselves and go beyond the abilities they think they have and grow as individuals. That's a huge part of Optimus Prime's leadership structure, is the way that he treats every member as a part of his family. But not only just treats them that way, but gets to know each and every one of the Autobots. He listens to their concerns and understands their struggles and utilizes their strengths to their fullest extent. And like all good leaders, he is always willing to put his life on the line for his brothers and sisters. My dad always told me this quote about good leaders, that they will never make someone do something they wouldn't do themselves. And Optimus Prime takes that to heart. Something that makes Optimus a top-tier leader is putting others before himself. There are so many times where Optimus will jump in the way to protect others, where he'll do things that might destroy him, but he worries about other people and not himself. And something I use to make this video and as a source of the things I talk about in this video is the new Transformers 2024 comic. And I would highly recommend it. The art's beautiful, the story's incredible, and in this comic we see Optimus Prime first appearing on Earth after fighting a battle with the Decepticons, which leads to the ship crashing on Earth and causing the Autobots and the Decepticons to be knocked out for years. He awakens to see the Earth for the first time and meets this human boy named Spike. Spike helps Optimus escape from the Decepticons, and after their escape and they have a moment to just sit there, Optimus goes out into this clearing and just sees Earth, and just sees the beauty of it all, and he just stands there, taking it all in and just looking at it. And Optimus accidentally steps on a deer, and he's confused, but also sad. And Spike explains to him that it was an accident, he didn't see the deer, but Optimus still is kind of distraught about it. And him and Spike begin talking. And Spike talks about the hard times in his life, losing his mother, which Optimus is confused about, and, Spike has to explain what parents are, because, Transformers don't really have parents. And Spike ends up saying, it's just family. Do you know, what family is? And Optimus Prime is like, oh, I get family. I love and know family. That's all I know. And he talks about how the Autobots ended up on Earth and the battle for Cybertron, and how he loves his home world, and how he didn't know much peace growing up. And the reason that he keeps fighting is for a better hope for Cybertron and his fellow Autobots. And the reason I brought up this comic is because there's so many small moments in this comic that just shows the type of character Optimus is. And later on in this story, Spike ends up getting hurt, and Optimus stops fighting the Decepticons to drive him to the hospital, and Starscream shows up and sees how much Optimus cares about these humans and tries to kill them. But Optimus jumps in the way and stops him and ends up losing his arm and using it to stop Starscream from hurting. And the power goes out and Spike is fading because of all of his injuries, and Optimus uses his own life source as a way to restore power to the hospital, even though he could die from it. But the line that Optimus says is "no more death." And something that I love about Optimus is that I feel like never gets brought up with his character is that he is a general and a leader who loves peace. A huge reason Optimus fights isn't to harm others, but to protect and forge a better world for tomorrow. Throughout all forms of media, throughout all the different versions of the character, his heart and love for others and hopefulness for the future is the key part of who he is. He doesn't just crave battles, he doesn't crave taking down his opponents, but what he wants is to protect his loved ones, which is why I love his character. Because if there's something to take away from his character, never fight for pride or power, but only fight to protect for peace. And only fight to protect those you love. Optimus Prime is a bot who finds himself forced into war, craving peace, craving a beautiful planet where he can just look out and enjoy all that's around him. For me, the character is one of tragedy. I love Transformers 1, and I think that they did an amazing job. But the reason I love it is because Optimus Prime knew that there was more to himself, and also his fellow miners. He wanted to make the world a better place for his people, he wanted a better tomorrow for all that was around him, and his hope for tomorrow led him down a path to reveal the ugly truth of Cybertron. And when he saw the corruption, when he saw all these horrible things that were taking him down, he saw this as an opportunity for change, a way to change the system for the better. So using his newfound powers, he gathered up his people, telling them of a better tomorrow, one filled with light and happy days, and showed them something beyond what they could see. He saw what they could become and who they really were, and with their help, he was able to change his planet, and of course, during this time, he would lose his brother, believing that he could change, but his right-hand man didn't believe that, and obviously this man becomes Megatron. And even till the very end, Optimus Prime tried to change him, tried to help him see the way he saw, and ended up dying for it. But because of his noble sacrifice, he was given the status of Prime. And now with his new powers and this new world, there was peace. But he would be forced into battle against the first person he called his family. Or you can think about the original Michael Bay trilogy, where they were searching for refuge on a new planet, trying to escape Cybertron from the battle that was happening, the war that was happening, and wanting to just have hope and a solution that one day their planet could be fixed. And movie after movie, Optimus would lose friend after friend, and he would even lose trust in the people in the new place he called home. Only looking for peace, he constantly found war. But with all of these situations, with all of these struggles and all of these pains that he's gone through, he still had hope. He still believes in his family. He still sees that version that life could be, filled with peace, and reminds the others of the future they can't see yet. What makes him a good leader is that he's a leader with a heart, a general of peace, a protector of all that he loves, a humble bot who wants nothing more than a better tomorrow. He reminds us that we have to fight through the hard times. We have to struggle through the hard times, not with hate, not with rage, but with love. That we can hold the ones around us close and protect them with all that we can, and hold them close to our hearts, and to never close our hearts off and make them bitter, but to continue to grow and work towards a better tomorrow, to see the things that we cannot yet see yet and continue to fight for them. It's easy to see the corruption around us, it's easy to see the pain around us and the injustices around us, and fill our hearts with hate and our movements with violence. But what will that do? Will that make our world better? Or will it leave it in pure destruction and make everything broken? What kind of world is that? So to anyone who hears this message, know that there is more of us out there, making the world a better place. Never give up hope, and never allow your heart to be hardened. The world needs you. Your loved ones need you. If you give up, the world of peace you see may never come true. Leaders aren't born, they're made by the few who are willing to do the things that no one else wants to do. So don't give up. I love you all, and hold strong, and stay true to yourself. Autobots, roll out.